Hey guys, welcome to Greg's Beer Review. Let's go see what's in the fridge today. Hello everybody, thanks for stopping by Greg's Beer Reviews today. Today's beer is another one that Brad brought up from North Carolina. This is Aviator Brewing Company's Devil's Tramping Ground Triple Unfiltered Draft Ale. Coming in at 9.2%. So yeah, that's a lot to be a little boozy. I don't know. We'll see what this brings. On the side here, let me read what it says. Devil's Tramping Ground Triple pours golden and finish a bit sweet. Devil's Triple has a light taste from the addition of sugar. I don't know about that. I've done that with home brews, and it doesn't add a lot of taste. It just adds a lot of alcohol. It says right here, sugar. We add just the right amount of hops to balance out the sweetness. The Devil's Tramping Ground is a North Carolina folklore legend. Legend says the very place that the devil himself can rise from the depths of the fiery hell and come to earth. Malts, Pilsner, and Vienna, hop size, and Hallertau IBUs are 31 on this one, guys, and I don't see any kind of dating on here, so I don't think these guys are doing the dating. Year-round serving from these guys. Aviator Brewing, they're out of Fuquay, Varina, North Carolina. Food pairings, cuisine, Mediterranean. The cheeses are sharp blue cheddar, pungent cheeses like Gorgonzola and Limburger, and the meat is pork and poultry. Glassware is a snifter, goblet, or chalice. I got the dual glass, guys, today. That's what I use for these big beers. And this can be cellared, being a 9.2% beer. It is going to keep, and we're probably going to regret opening this early since I just got this a month or so ago. And these big beers, a lot of these like this one need to sit for a while to mellow out. They're either too sweet or too syrupy or too alcohol-y, too boozy, or something like that. So they probably need to mellow. And this may be one that probably needs to set, but we're going to go ahead and get it open and get it reviewed for you guys. I don't think there's anything else I need to go over here, and nothing else on the label that we need to talk about. Like I said, I don't see any date. That doesn't mean there's not something written in black on the bottle that we can't see while it's wet. So let's get it in the glass, guys. Very light color, very macro lager color. Or should I say Belgian color. Very light, golden, straw colored. A lot of bubbles streaming up, not overly carbonated, very clear. See the bulb right through it. You can see it looks very macro lagerish in the glass. Let's get a nose on it, guys. I'm getting the Belgian yeast, the grapefruit, banana, clove, coriander type deal on here. Not a big booziness, not as much as I was expecting on a 9% beer. The taste may be something completely different. Got a very pleasant, sweet aroma. And I don't know how much sugar they're adding to this to get the alcohol up to 9%. We're about to find out. Cheers, guys. It's not bad. It's a little on the thin side. It doesn't have that sugary taste to it to me. I know what it's like. I brewed beer and added sugar, and I don't do that anymore because I like to get my sugars from the malt instead of adding this empty sugar into it. You don't get a lot of taste from that. All that does is just gives the yeast something more to eat to produce more alcohol, but you don't get a lot of taste from that. It's empty, like I said, it's like empty calories or empty empty sugars for them to convert into alcohol, and there's not a lot of taste that goes with that. That's just the way I think about it. So when I think about it, and I've brewed beers and used like a very small amount of either dry malt extract or even liquid, 1 can or one 3-pound bag, and then when you get to the end of it, you check your ABV in it when you're getting ready to pitch your yeast, and it may not be like a 3.5 or 4%, and I'm trying to get to a 5 or 6%. You can just add corn sugar in there until you get what you want as far as ABV, but the taste suffers as far as I'm concerned in the end. So I'm flapping my gums. I don't want this to be a 20-minute video, but adding sugar to it is I'm not a big fan of that. Kind of tasty, a little thin. Alcohol is fairly well hidden. I'm very, very surprised about that. It doesn't have that big sugary taste that I usually get from the boozier beers. So right now, I'm on the fence. So we're going to let the other half sip on it, and we'll come back and do the final chug here in just a minute and see where this one ends up. Brad, appreciate you bringing these up from North Carolina. Can't get the Aviators here in Virginia. Must be a real small distribution on these guys. Stick around, I'll be right back. Alright guys, got just a little left here. This is fairly thin. It's okay. I mean, it's not blowing my hair back and my socks off or anything, but I'm just not a big fan of putting sugar into beers now. You should get all your sugars from your grain instead of having to add corn sugar to it, guys. Final chug. It's not very boozy. I'm actually surprised. For 9%, it is hidden pretty well. There's not a big taste. It's fairly thin, but it's a decent beer. It's a decent beer. It's slightly above average, so that's where I'm gonna go with this, guys. I'm gonna give it a 6, which is a B, which is a solid B. Even though it doesn't have a date on it, it's 9% beer. It's not gonna go bad. So, just not a big fan of that adding sugar to the beer when they're brewing it. I'm not a big fan of that at all. So they shouldn't have told me that. That affected the grade and affected the way that I think it should taste, and it seems to me a little thin on the taste because of the sugar added and not getting that from the grain. So guys, that being said, Rate Beer has 77 overall and a 51 in the style. So there were some people there not impressed. And actually, Beer Advocate comes up with an 86, which is in their good range. So quite a discrepancy from one to the other. And I'm leaning more toward Rate Beer's version of this than Beer Advocate. So guys, if you have this beer, you're in North Carolina, can get it. I don't think it's too far out of North Carolina. I'm in Virginia and can get it. So Brad brought this up. Brad, thumbs up, guy. Appreciate you bringing these beers up here from North Carolina. Not had any of these beers before, so I enjoyed doing this. Even though the beer may not be an A beer or an outstanding, I enjoyed just saying that I've had it and I've tried it. So guys, that's what it's all about, tasting different stuff to me, and that's why I do it. So guys, with that being said, rate, comment, subscribe, and hit the like button, and we're going to like to look in the fridge. I know you'll like to look in there. Let's do it together tomorrow. See you then.